Good morning and welcome to your daily dose of great conversation and trending topics here on Jasiri. This morning, I come in peace and with a sprinkle of violence. We will be shining a spotlight on one of Blessing's uncles, Honorable Paul Haruna, a member of the National Assembly. He recently donated a well to residents of Basa, the Kina Federal Constituency of Kogi State, as part of his constituency project. I think Blessing in absentia.
No, I think she knew what's going to happen.
That's why she escaped.
She ran.
She ran.
How do you want to defend your people?
Is it that, what is wrong with us as a people? So donating a well, you even had the audacity and you didn't have no shame to even endorse it with your name.
You just say this,
and you now let this go to the federal federal level. That this is one of your constituency project.
Say it. Constituency project.
Constituency project.
Yes.
It is our.
Wow.
These are things that
this project is sponsored by Haruna. You see, he's just.
But is it his money? So I remember EIE, Enough is Enough, had a campaign a few years ago to stop the national, to stop the National Assembly members from putting sponsored by on projects because the money is not coming from them. If it's sponsored by, that means it's your money inside. It's not your money inside. It's not your money inside. The money is not coming from you. Why are you claiming sponsorship of it? Maybe you helped to influence it, because I remember seeing something from The Punch, and it was last year, August 2023, and it said, reps to get 54 billion naira for constituency projects.
Yeah.
Members of the representatives in the 10th Assembly will get a total of 54 billion naira for constituency projects as each member.
So this, are you telling me part of the money that was given, this is what he could do for his constituency?
Well, let it not look as if he's not paying attention to the cries of his people.
I was going to say,
what does that even mean? When there are boreholes.
Maybe
are there no boreholes?
There might be an issue with the land. What if the levels of when with boreholes you have to drill a certain way, you have to drill a certain depth. Maybe that area is not conducive to a borehole and is only conducive to a well.
To a well. Or maybe in this time and age.
I'm not Representative Haruna.
Listen, maybe
honestly, there are some things that I actually think that the federal government needs to look into what they use the money that they give each.
The federal government should look into. Why are members getting constituency projects? Is that not been a controversy in and of itself?
Oh, well, so when you want to tell me our honorable the president of the national of this great country, Nigeria, because I'm just looking, I almost said the commander of the order of Nigeria. No, but if they do not look into the constituency project, how can somebody like this be touting this as a project? Yeah, when these are Tolu education. Do you know if you keep putting money in education and healthcare, it will be something that your community, your constituency members will constantly gain.
Maybe he's working his way. No, maybe he's working his way there. He's just ticking off a box on his to-do list.
Well,
this can be one of it. No, this can be one of it. He may have plans for the educational sector, healthcare. And the
but how do
maybe
people go to school if they have to be tripping and tricking for weeks, for maybe hours and kilometers to go and get water?
Even if you want to provide water for your people, in this time and age, technology has gotten to a point that you can do better than a well.
What if there's no
expecting them to use
community?
Did he put a pumping machine inside?
No,
is there a tank?
Okay, so
no, because how do you want them? You want them to be using pail?
Really, you truly, what you started with at the beginning of the show when you said the sprinkle of violence.
As you know,
is it that they want them to be using a pail?
I'm not.
Okay, Tolu, I agree with you.
I told you I'm not Haruna now.
No, I agree with you that
because the way she's turning to look at me.
No, I agree that the land is not conducive for.
I don't know. I'm saying maybe.
Hypothetically.
Thank you.
Let's even imagine that the land is not conducive for anything. This and this and this and that.
Yes.
But you did dug the well. You could not put pumping machine in it. Put up a tank so that they can fetch water with ease.
You know, this is just... let's look at it on
maybe I want him to come out with a retort that this was not his, that he does not know who put his name.
But it's Kogi State we are talking about.
What's wrong with Kogi State?
What's wrong with Kogi?
But Kogi State is just... Is like any other state in this country. Maybe with the exception of Lagos.
Yeah, well, but
they don't have a governor?
No, not that. Kogi.
Can you even find a former governor? Are we not still looking for him?
Thank you. There's stories to Kogi. You know, the immediate past governor?
Yeah.
Yahaya Bello.
Yahaya Bello is having all these issues.
With the EFCC. So Kogi has been that kind of state where you look at it and you have to zoom your torchlights. And everybody knows that when Yahaya Bello was there, even as he had some supporters and he was doing things, and he also had critics as well who were saying that he is just not focusing on what he's supposed to focus on as governor.
I alleged...
So this is Kogi. What are you expecting? Like they say in the Bible, what good can come out of Nazareth?
No, I apologize because he is probably educating the prime citizens of the state. Because there's still an alleged on his neck.
No, but
that he used the money of the state money to go and send his children to school
to go and prepare tuition.
That one
doesn't seem to be alleged
to 20-something, 2025 or more.
The school. So I think we need to go back to something. And I don't know if this person is still in this Nigeria. When I was on radio and somebody called me and said, democracy starts in the morning. It starts with breakfast. If at this point in time in our nation's history, we're still doing wells for our people. That means we have not provided primary basic needs.
Yes.
So water, potable water, access to clean potable water for their needs is still an issue in his constituency. That is Bassa, Dekina Federal Constituency in Kogi State. And Catherine, you want to talk about Kogi State, but this kind of well is replicated across the country by many other National Assembly members.
Only in Kogi State. This probably might be... Have you guys been to Kogi State?
No.
I have been. The roads, first of all, you know, it's a nice
also a small state.
From Abuja going to Lokoja. It's just... They can do more. I mean, the governor of the government of that state, and then this is just Kogi. We are not taking a look at Benue or other, subsequent states around there. But let's face Kogi, for example. This is probably a local government that maybe don't really have lights, they just have one unit. My own problem is you want to do wells and you're just doing one well. One well, is it that it's in the village square that people just come there to fetch the water and go?
How many people would it serve?
Yeah.
How many people would it serve? In this 21st century that we are talking and advocating for movement forward, you still want these people in this constituency, no matter how backward it is, to go with buckets to fetch from this well.
So we are the ones, we can sit in Lagos. I'm playing devil's advocate, even though it's not sweet on my tongue. Yeah. We can sit in Lagos and say this is not an issue, but that may be a primary concern for that community. And if that is it, the manner in which it can be provided, it's been provided. Again, we need to go back. It is to some people's benefit for the majority of Nigerians to continue to struggle for the basics so they cannot turn their full attention to how they're being governed and how their money is being spent.
But Oluche, you know that some of these Kogi, Bayelsa, Benue, those people, they are the places that we used to rely on for food.
Yeah, the breadbasket area.
The breadbasket area. Yeah. So if this is happening in one of the constituency, is it not where we are looking for food?
You see, Tolu said something interesting, because if you're representing that area, you're looking at, well, supposedly looking at the needs of the people of that area. So maybe he has gotten people around a table and said, okay, what do we need?
Well, sir, we need to use buckets.
It may be.
I'm not saying they don't need water.
Access to water. And he has given them a well.
They need water. Yes. That is what they need. And to provide that, you as a governor should know that, I need to provide water for these people. How should I provide this water? Let me sink a well. Let me dig a borehole. Let me put machine in it to help these people get water more easy to access. And you know there are even things I've seen in Africa that they don't even use a pumping machine. They just use some tools that can get water a little more easier. We're not even thinking of doing that. Well, you know, and you're thinking of a well that they use bucket and rope?
In all honesty, you know, it's either even the fish. There's fish and there's fish in the water, but there's the bigger fish that eats the smaller fish still in the same water. So maybe there are also some people who like to be in governance and always want people to be subservient
to them. So
that they have a one-up on them. Maybe how much or what does it take to make
each
water
member gets 54 billion naira.
How much you're looking at it
how much is that well?
How much is that?
I did borehole in my own house. That's not even my own.
How much?
and I know how much I spent. These are things that, you know, individuals should do. Maybe a son of the soil, one copper that just came out of school and did so well.
We've seen corporates do a lot in communities.
Yes, and they would do if a copper did this, today I'll be celebrating the copper. But the whole
for government.
Government.
No, it's okay.
No, there are some things that are just unacceptable. And there is no other way you want to say it without using the word. This is so beneath them.
Maybe
they can do better than this.
Maybe the people of Basa local government, maybe they're comfortable with that. Or maybe they've just been wired or they've adapted in such a way.
I think that's the word, the wired.
Wired that way.
I can even tell you, if he showed up in the community to do the commissioning, because they will commission. I'm surprised they would have commissioned. They may have commissioned it. So if there was a commissioning for this well, everybody will gather, they'll be
their bottom box cloth.
You know, so we have to really think about. It makes you wonder, what are the dividends of democracy for the people? After so many years, in 2024, we're getting this kind of project from a National Assembly member who was elected to protect the interests and to push forward the interests of his people. His people want water, but this is really not the way.
You remember COVID era? When one of our... You remember what one of our colleagues did too in Surulere?
Which are colleagues? My colleagues
one of our Nollywood colleagues did the Surulere.
Yeah.
Let me stop screaming.
So you knew you were screaming?
Yes.
Yeah, better. But we look forward to hearing from Honorable Paul Haruna to see, because this thing has really, really caught fire. Yeah. And a lot of people are really asking, is this really the best that you can do for your constituency? Is this what you really have to offer them?
You said there's more on the road. There's more on
the road.
I don't understand. What happens when you put braids in? Like...
No, we want to move to the next...
So it just didn't...
Even if your people ask for well, you know you're enlightened.
Lolo's not ready to let it go.
You're enlightened. You
let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. Let it go. Let it go. Here I stand. Because your kids are older.
These are by our people.
Listen, is this not better than what I was singing before? Do you want me to take it back to my 90s?
That was a rocking
So we need to comport ourselves.
Yes.
So now, ask the question properly.
Okay. So my question was, and it would be a bit random, what happens when you put braids in?
I get an attitude. So you know this, I told you guys that this hair, her name is Roxanne. Roxanne comes with a whole attitude. Like Roxanne has a different vibe. So when I put braids in, especially when I'm going on vacation, it's like the signal that I'm free.
Yes,
are you serious?
What's he talking about? So braids are like an attitude, depending on the style.
Yes.
I will walk different, I'll move my head different, I'll shake
and color as well.
And you yesterday, you're twirling braids for us. You see, see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
Braids, what happens when you put braids in?
I think it just gives you freshness. It makes you feel like, is that I can whip my hair around things. You know, for us Africans that have kinky hair,
it doesn't move like that.
It doesn't move.
It goes up
like that. But when we put our hair in braids, it's single.
Yeah.
So I like to pack top knot because I don't have a lot of hair. So anytime I pack that top knot, it's so pretty. And I feel like sweet pineapple.
That's a day.
Yes, with the top.
Toothpick on that. Oh, God.
Then I like the way it snatches my face. You know when you braid.
When you pull it back.
There's a way, it's like an instant surgery, instant face lift.
Yes, actually, it takes her.
Look at Catherine has been rocking her beauty girl era.
Whipping it in her face and
makeup. No, she has.
Okay, so if you want to know why Catherine is asking...
I'm asking because I'm wearing braids, and I'm asking because... You know, there's something, braids celebrate your Africanness. Yeah, it just makes it, and listen, sorry, Oyinbo's not savvy.
But even foreigners are competing with us.
Yeah, but it's not the same, it's not really the same like when you wear. You know, see, when something is follow come with you, it's a different
thing. So we're here again and we're talking about braids because we have another gorgeous, lush package to give away to our amazing viewers. You know all the vibes. All you have to do to win is to follow Lush on Instagram, follow News Central on Instagram and Twitter, and drop a comment on the first snippet of today's show that we will post on Instagram telling us why you love Jasiri and why you deserve to win all these Lush hair products. And of course, who doesn't love Jasiri? Like, exactly. I don't even understand how. It's not up for debate.
Given.
It's a given.
Do you understand?
You give it. You give it.
It's solid, man.
It's absolutely solid. So we want you guys to enjoy
this harsh economy,
the goodies. Abby,
this is a must for everybody with stubborn hair.
Is this stubborn?
Stubborn hair.
Just treat yourself, ladies. And I think as women, embrace the salon, embrace the hair.
Yeah.
You know, spend that, I said 5 hours. Yes, it can be 5 hours.
No,
sometimes.
it can be 5 hours.
Spend that time and, pamper your hair, pamper your skin, get your nails done, but seriously, every
when we
time
actually get our hair done and you're using a product that is good, honestly, it relieves you of stress.
Absolutely.
When you get a wash, it's wash day.
And we can tell
maybe
you for
you're
free that
perming your hair, or even basic conditioning. Honestly, you just want to put your head back, and a very good hairstylist is washing and using a nice conditioner.
Yes,
and I like cold water.
Most women like their hair when it's washed and scratched and massaged. And
I love
it. Yeah,
it.
can you stay a bit longer?
And I'll be telling her, is that place?
Yeah, scratch that.
So Lush wants to give you that pampering session. So please don't forget, go to our social media timeline, follow News Central on Instagram and Twitter, follow Lush on Instagram, then go to our Instagram. When we post our first snippet for today, tell us why you love Jasiri. We're here for you every single day, Monday through Friday. So
then that's your cue to live a lush life. Ooh. While you're getting ready to live your lush life, let's take a quick break. Stay tuned. Jasiri returns very shortly.
Welcome back. We're streaming live on our social media platforms. We're at News Central TV. Use the hashtag Jasiri to be parts of the conversations. Now, ladies, I don't know if you've been following the Heritage Bank.
Come
Didn't we
back.
talk about it in the makeup room? Was it?
Yeah, we were talking about it recently.
We talked about a lot of things. So customers of the bank have been gathering at the bank's headquarters seeking payment amid the bank's ongoing financial troubles. Now, this surge in customer visits follows the revocation of the bank's operating license by the Central Bank of Nigeria, leading to concerns over the safety of deposits. The Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation has begun the process of refunding depositors, prioritizing those with the highest deposits. And of course, this is the liquidation process for Heritage Bank. But Heritage Bank, how old is the bank? It's not something that's so old.
Yeah.
I remember when when the announcement of Heritage Bank came about.
First of all, which banks merged into Heritage Bank? Because, there was a time where there was the merger of banks going under the umbrella of the bigger banks to just for there to be more structure. But now with Heritage Bank's license revoked, it really makes you question the security of the deposits of our deposits in banks, which would beg the question, how sure are we or how confident are we of our monies in our banks presently?
Honestly, it's something that has given me a lot of concern these days because I have a lot of money tied in all these
how many bank accounts do you have, first of all?
I think that's
an
interesting thing.
I have like 5.
Why?
I think Nigerians just have banks. We don't really have
SIM cards.
Yes, we don't
salary bank. I have one business bank. I have one just.
Yeah, but why don't you
stay?
I think we don't really have confidence in our bank. But sometimes one
bank should be able to service all your needs.
No, how about if something like this happens? Exactly. That's why you need to diversify your funds.
No, but that's why the NDIC has stepped in. So you asked about how Heritage Bank came about. Yes. So it was in 2012, December, that the central bank reissued, do you guys remember Societe Generale?
Yeah.
They reissued their banking license, but as a regional bank. Then having acquired the license, the new ownership rebranded the bank as Heritage Banking Company Limited and opened for business under the new name on March 4th, 2013. 2023, just basically 10 years and a few months. And the bank has gone under. So the CBN has also said they've been working with them for the past year or so, trying to sort the issues, but it simply was not working. We have the statement from the CBN, if we can get that up. But I understand, don't also forget that we had a situation where the CBN did a reconsolidation exercise when we shrunk the number of banks.
That was such a
That was not this Heritage situation when Heritage came, but it was something the CBN was open to within the financial services and banking sector, and it helped to keep people's money. And people have applauded the CBN and the NDIC for how this has been handled so far.
Yeah.
But they're saying that it's only those that have the largest deposit that will probably be getting refunds quicker. So how about those that have smaller monies and that's all their livelihood?
Well,
so there are numbers to it. I think they said there are only about 4,000 Heritage Bank customers who have 5 million and above. The majority are a little under, I'm trying to get you the numbers. The majority are a little under, I think, 1 million, or there, is it there? Yes, okay, so there are some 116 branches and regional offices, and the NDIC has deployed close to 400,000 staff. So 99.9% of depositors of the bank had a deposit balance of less than 5 million naira, while 4,000 of the depositors had more than 5 million naira deposits.
Anything, any amount, any million is this.
In this harsh economy.
It's their money.
People should just get their money.
If you see how
that's
the fear
mine.
of God.
And because that's the panic. People hear these kinds of news and the first panic that, oh, my money, how am I going to get my complete money, my total money? Because that's the fear of people, no matter whether you had 200K there. Whether
even if you have 20,000 naira.
It's your money.
But given the number, look at the disparity. 99.9% have less than. And people are now asking, should the NDIC have prioritized those who have less than 5? It's easier to get. 5 million can probably pay maybe 100 people first before you're paying one person 5 million and more. So there have been questions as to whether or not they should have prioritized the majority of the bank's customers who had less than 5 million naira inside. And then you talked about small businesses.
There's so many small businesses that actually bank with different banks. And you know, these are people that are probably struggling. And you know how bank market has come after you. Some of us open banks because our friends work there. And if you see how my friends at the banks, there's hardly any of them that don't say, please, just open a deposit.
Just drop 10,000 naira. Just help me keep the money.
And I think that's why people open a lot of bank accounts.
Yes, that's how many of us do have many bank accounts.
If we had 40 banks in the country, like in Nigeria, you would have the average Nigerian having accounts in 10 banks. They may not use all of it, but it's just because there's that unsureness and distrust about a certain bank. Today, one bank, maybe it's the one with the orange or the one with the blue, that is deciding to just misbehave.
But
and
all
you say,
of them
oh
have
God,
been misbehaving of
every
late.
bank has their day to misbehave. You hear people say that.
There's one bank I have not been able to open the app for a week. So for me to use it, I have to go into the website. I can't stand entering banks in Nigeria. So I now have to go through the website on my phone because my app has not opened for a week. I'm just like,
honestly, do you know, I was just telling you that they just returned some money I tried to transfer to another of my accounts.
How many?
Since, like, let's say Saturday.
Oh, la, la.
I had to go into the bank to report when it just didn't revert itself. It didn't get to where it was going, and it was just hanging in the balance. And it was quite some money. So I couldn't just look. And there have been so many times that you've reported different things to the banks, and you didn't get a refund.
Yeah, I mean,
like
so
10,000 naira I used at a filling station. I did go to report.
Should we go
but
there?
I didn't get any refund.
No, but that speaks to the diversification she's talking about, and you also said. So if I go shopping and I have one card, which I should be able to use everywhere, I'll use it in one place. By the time I'm going to the next place, they tell me the card is not working.
Yes.
I'll not have to bring out another.
I'm telling you, that it has happened to me a lot of times in these times. In fact, when you get some eateries, they'll tell you the orange one doesn't work here. Or it doesn't go to this bank. It doesn't go to that bank.
And
you're like,
if
you can do it,
what is happening? But all these things is going to keep making a lot of people not have confidence in the banks. And let us not even talk about it. There are still a percentage, a huge percentage of our population who are unbanked. And this one will never let them have confidence in it. So, but they'll go back to tying their monies under their wrappers and keeping it.
But you know, unfortunately, this also comes at a bad time. Remember, we talked about the fact because there were so many banks that were putting 20,000 naira limits. You know, I spoke about the fact that my parents in Obumasho can't get more than 20,000 sometimes because banks have limited the amount of cash they're paying out. So it's coming at a time where the sentiment is not so trustworthy of banks. Not because banks will necessarily do anything, but when we did the Naira redesign, and people could not get money. And so you actually have a lot of money out of circulation in private hands. People are keeping more money at home now. Again, because one, you had Naira redesign, you're telling me there's a limit on how much I can get out of the money I put in your bank. And then you have something like this. So again, people have applauded the CBN and the NDIC for how they've handled it so far. We look forward to having everybody get their money. They said that if you have BVN, it's going to be quicker and easier if you don't have BVN, because not everybody still has attached their BVNs to their bank accounts. There's a slightly different process. NDIC has asked that they fill a form, or there's a form that you submit, but people will get their money.
Mine
continue to communicate with the public.
Communicate and work with the processes. We are very hot-blooded, and so we don't have the patience to actually calm down and follow these processes. That's why we get impatient and we get...
No, so are you telling me, baby, calm down? Do you know how many people... Do you know how many people...
I love how it
Do you know how many people that calm down can ruin their life?
True.
Just this small thing of wait for something. Imagine somebody that's been doing business, has like 5 million, and he wants to like balance up some transaction.
And you know the word on the street,
and
when
they are not even sure.
That, especially in vernacular, imagine saying it in Yoruba, Shogbo, your bank, they say they have closed everything.
Do you know how many people that even knows that, oh, you are waiting to get something and is unsure when it's going to come? This is a catastrophe for some.
Yeah, it is.
But it's the handling. Again, we appeal CBN, NDIC, please, especially if 99.9% of the depositors in Heritage are small, whatever you might consider, like small money. Please, just make sure everybody gets their money. Again, this is a litmus test under a new CBN governor, under this administration. A lot of people will be watching to see how it's handled, how it's communicated, the process, how long it takes as well for people to get their money. And we hope that people get their money on time.
In the end, man, that's what matters.
If you see the way I'm afraid because of all these deposits that as we all have in different places, I'm just happy that at least CBN is on top of it. Yeah. So we're hoping that we'll get updates that will actually put everybody's mind at rest. All
right, so we're going to take a quick time out because this next story, just stay with us because you don't want to miss this conversation. We'll be back.
Welcome back to Jasiri. This is conversation that we have during the breaks, and we're just referring to a story. I was just asking the ladies whether we got a feedback or how it ended, whether she got her money back.
Yeah, now I remember Liz Osho. Yeah, I'll check in with her and see if there was feedback on that.
She got her money back. But welcome back to Jasiri. And the story continues. Conversations keep going on Jasiri. So this time, I'll start this story by saying, dear women, please, in the name of God, stop staying in useless marriages because of your children. It's a useless excuse. What are you doing? And what you are doing is normalizing abnormal behavior for that child or those children. Would you believe a lady has shared her struggles within a 12-year marriage marked by her husband's immaturity, her husband's temper, and occasional violence? Her efforts to address these issues with his family have been met with defensiveness and accusations. Despite her attempts to maintain a facade of normalcy for their children's sake, the constant arguments have negatively impacted their son. The wife performs all the household chores, she splits bills, but she feels unappreciated and hurt, especially after her husband's neglect on her 30th birthday. Her husband's behavior, influenced by his controlling mother, has strained their relationship to the point of sleeping in separate rooms. She seeks advice on how to proceed, considering ignoring her husband entirely while explaining the situation to their children. So there's children even in the matter. As you can see in it, Tolu, please, I don't know if you can take us through this.
This thread is a lot.
So she's even talking about that for the first 8 years of their marriage, she was the one who was constantly reaching out and being responsible towards his parents. Eventually, she stopped doing that. Then they recently had an argument about a lie his mother told him, during which he asked me to swear on the life of our children. And she said that was the breaking point for me. Although he apologized afterwards, things have not been the same. She also had her birthday, and he only offered her a prayer without a gift. But when he turned 30 last year, she went out of her way to throw a surprise party despite his very terrible attitude. She's also talked about the fact, that I read it because it's quite long, that his brother is also having the same issues. The brother does the same thing in his own marriage. Yeah. And apparently this comes from the mom. So there's a lot to this, but I had to reflect because we've had conversations about staying in bad marriages. There's bad and then there's abusive. The moment that there is violence, whether it is occasional, it is every day, it has become an abusive marriage. And I even feel like she sort of skirted over it. Occasional violence. Like there's violence she can put up with. It just only happens maybe once every 6 months.
I think we need to cut to highlight why she's staying. She said she stumbled on a note that her son wrote some years ago that I pray that God keeps my family together. I think that's the crux for her.
That's the crux.
Because she feels like, oh, my child believes in this marriage.
At what cost? Because the same child that she says wrote that
damaging.
Note, it has already been damaged. We looked into what, like the effects, there are short-term and long-term effects of domestic violence and abuse on children. Children who witness, they're not even victims, but they are also victims. But they witness the domestic violence and the abuse in relationships with their parents, and the effects are horrible. So we've talked about it before. I remember when we had Lola Adeni Rose Viver Adeni on the show with us, and these are some of the effects of domestic violence on children. Of course, they witness it, and then they unfortunately themselves might become perpetrators because it is a cycle. It affects their long-term physical and mental health. They may also be at great risk of being violent in their future relationships or of even being the victim. So boys who see their mothers being abused are 10 times more likely to abuse their female partners as adults, and girls who grow up in a home where their father abuses their mother are more likely, 6 times more likely to be sexual early, to show sexual tendencies quite early on. So when we hear women say, I'm staying because of my children, the same children you're staying for, you are actually damaging them.
And now we have a lot of children who are depressed, and their depression do not even come from... Do you know that sometimes depression are coming from children because of confusion? They do not know whose side to be on. They don't know who to support. They just want to be okay. And because they don't know what to do, they internalize it and they become depressed.
And I say, and as I was reading the thread, what stuck out for me was that my 30th birthday, you're a child. 30.
You're still so young.
What are you doing? Stomaching so much at 30. And then in your later years, you find out you have some health challenges, some without names, and some because you have internalized or supported so many things over the years. You have this disgust for him. You have resentment. All that is consuming you. You seek an out, and an out for you is praying. We all understand that. And you say it's not reflective of who you are. So you see yourself deteriorating or degenerating to a reflection of something that's not you, and you're still staying because your son wrote a letter that God keep you together.
You know what? You know that thing, it's possible to Catherine.
No,
but I know that there are many people, that's part of why they should
today she loses her life, what then happens?
That is why you should watch a show like Jasiri. Because sometimes we're soundboards. Do you know sometimes Toluma actually counseled me a thing? I didn't hear it. But when you hear it somewhere, it becomes louder in your ears. This thing you said, my mother said to me many years ago when she was still alive, when I saw my children write a note, and it really did affect me. Oh, I love this person because this person is always available. This person is always at home. This person is always praying. And I felt like...
So what she said, am I a Brussels
yes, spot? But now my mom said they're young.
Yes.
That they could only... That's what they could process at that time.
Yeah.
So sometimes you forget that your children are growing. They only understand limited things at certain ages. The more they grow, the more their wisdom and understanding grows. They're able to really, really understand what is really happening.
What is actually going on.
But the danger of it is that by the time they're realizing what is really happening, the damage is already done.
So, you know, when you talk about the letter, she's speaking about a letter that has been written. Probably a letter that's probably a year, 2 years old. The difference is
still judging
there.
Alive by
so
it.
you're even saying that you're staying in a loveless marriage because she says she finds solace in not speaking to her husband. So you want to stay. Your son is going to witness a couple that does not interact. They do not engage.
They're living separately.
They sleep in separate rooms. There's no love. There's no affection. That also... So even if... Let's take away the violence. Even that is damaging. I say it all the time. Your parents, your guardians are the first point of call in how a relationship is meant to be.
To be for you.
We are the ones who are setting the foundations for our children. We're the ones who are telling them, this is a boundary, this is not a boundary. Guys, fold your boundaries for people. Don't fold your boundaries.
Children are sponges. The things they see, usually, and they see it. I always tell people, you pretend as if, okay, they are young, they don't see, they see. They see
and they hear. Because a lot of adults tend to ignore children when they're in the room and we're caught up in whatever it is we're caught up in.
They study your body language, they study your expression. They study the change in your tone when you speak. Children are sponges. So you see this kind of situation, for example. So the child wants to go to his uncle's place, and his uncle's place is no better than his father's house or his own family.
So they're solidifying that.
So for him, that's how a man
experience for him.
That's how a man should be.
According to what she says, the brother is behaving the exact same way.
So we need to check their father.
No,
that means we should check the grandfather.
No, the mother has already said that this is the same thing she faced in her marriage, and she stayed, so she doesn't understand what the daughter-in-law is complaining about. And I really want to ask older women to stop making that statement. Stop saying that you went through it, you faced it, that this is how men are, this is how women are, accept it, pray, focus on your children. Women are entitled to live their lives.
Yes.
They're entitled to decide, you know what, this no longer serves me, it doesn't work. And I think it's best, even single, divorce, whatever it is, children need to see women who are happy and fulfilled.
happy, fulfilled, positive.
Positive and doing life with purpose.
And not disappearing because, okay, daddy is home.
Everybody just thinks, honestly, Tolu, we've said it many times on this show, that the same rules no longer apply.
They do not.
So really, for the sake of the children we're bringing into the world, you really need to set boundaries for yourself and how far you can go with things. Because right now, I don't think we have enough therapists in Nigeria to be able to cater for every one of us, even if everybody wants to go for therapy. It's a lot. And the more we keep damaging ourselves, damaging our children, we can't expect the society to be better.
So let me ask a question, something that I saw that we were supposed to touch on. So aside from a marriage that is abusive or has its issues, how do we handle marital conflicts? So I grew up and I didn't see my parents fight. I know they fought.
Yeah, of course they would.
Well, they never fought in front of us. And that's what I brought into my marriage. So these days now, when we're disagreeing, and sometimes we're not even disagreeing, we're arguing about something.
Your voices are raised.
You guys are arguing. I've said, no, we're having a conversation. We don't agree with each other, but we're not arguing. It's just not do or die. And I have to reinforce that for her because now, okay, we're passionate. I was very passionate about something, very passionate about an issue, but we don't argue in front of her. We take it to the room. The moment I know my body language is changing, I separate. Because I want to model a good marriage and a good relationship between a man and a woman for her. How do we handle marital conflicts?
I think for me, marital conflicts, both, you see, she said something that he's immature. Both of you have to...
Constantly reporting to his mother. Has not cut the aprons. Has not cut the
you said something. Women also encourage that. I don't know why mothers encourage that. You need to know when to disengage.
The mothers that you're talking about, they are amplifying their pain. Do you know how many mothers are selfish? The fact that they've gone through pain and they see it replicated gives them ease.
So, you see, that's the thing. So
it gives them ease,
maturity in
thank God
process.
I'm not the only one that goes through this. At least I survived. Let me see how you two would survive. It's like companions in pain and suffering. So women do that a lot.
I heard when I was pregnant, it was something that was rebounding. A lot of women say they don't talk about what happens in pregnancy because they don't want to scare younger women. Yeah, I heard it. It's actually true.
So sometimes they want you to go through the same thing so that you can feel
too much,
the pain that they felt.
Absolutely. Please, let's take, because Catherine is working to school her face. Let's take some feedback. This is from content_queen_NG and some others. So she says, the good thing is I don't need to ask you to imagine. You're living with the outcome. His mom likely stayed with his dad because of her kids. See how he turned out. Good. That's because the behavior was normalized, internalized, and his mom stayed. So this is exactly how your kids will see things. Normalize it, internalize it, and if you stay, they will also expect their partners to stay. So
do the math.
Do the math. Next reaction, please, if we can get it. Ultimately, they're damaging. Bobby answered. Ultimately, they're damaging the children in the long run. Church calls it generational curse. Psychologists call it abusive patterns. They should call family meeting.
Family meeting, cycle. Family meeting.
Wow, this is long, but let's try it. As a school director, having handled children since I was 12 years old, I'm sorry to disappoint you, ma'am. You're simply deceiving yourself.
Say too.
Children see and know things that you adults think you're hiding. They have a heightened sense of discernment that adults can't understand. Everything you're facing in that marriage, they already know. So if you decide to pretend further, just to keep a broken mirror, they'll watch you bleed and you'll bear the pain alone. Also, your husband and his brother are a reflection of their father. Staying back means you're grooming another imitation for another innocent girl to be a victim. All this good grammar you wrote, the summary of it all is that you're raising potential monsters. Really? Another thing about kids is that no matter the situation, they'll always blend and be all right. So if you walk away, trust me, they will be fine. You said your son prayed. What if all these you're facing sends you to an early 6 foot with the prayers? Will the prayer still be valid? Be wise.
Very well, in fact, very informative. This thing is
very well.
You know that, honestly, until women know that you would be all right eventually, as the best of us, there's nobody, even those that have broken marriages, that have, situations they couldn't handle. I found out that in the end, another day will definitely break, and life will continue to go on. And those children that you're so afraid for,
I think we just
they
worry.
will turn out okay.
I think we just worry as women and as mothers. I think we just worry. I wouldn't say for nothing, because when you are in there at that point in time, you're not seeing anything. You are just worrying. You need your kids to be all right. But the last reaction, he said everything perfectly.
Yeah.
Because what you think that you're hiding from the kids, oh my God, trust
They
me.
see it's clear.
And I think
when they revisit this conversation with you, je te jure, when they revisit this conversation...
Yes, you should. So also, I also think, let's also quickly emphasize for people that there are consequences for staying. So short-term consequences. Children in such households may feel awful and anxious. They may also be on guard, wondering when the next violent events will happen. Children who are of school age who witness this will also start doing things they used to do when they're younger. So your child might revert to bedwetting, thumb sucking, increased crying, and whining. They may also develop difficulty falling and staying asleep, show signs of terror, start stuttering or hiding, and separation anxiety. School-age children may even blame themselves. And also, it affects their self-esteem. They won't participate in school. They won't get good grades. You're affecting them. How much more can we say it?
Say it.
And we have already said it. You don't like your husband. You're raising another one of your husband for another woman.
Do you understand?
That's what we always say.
And please don't have more children, because I think women, I don't know why you feel that when you're in a rut like that, just having babies.
Don't say it. Sometimes it happens.
It's not just sometimes it happens. Sometimes it's not their choice. There are men who will force their wives, even in abusive marriages.
It's okay now.
And will monitor you so that you do not do.
You cannot monitor. If a woman wants to do something, Tolu, listen. Even in the dead of the night, in the covers of in the plane when the sun is shining, ils vont faire tout ça là. So if you like, monitor, be the monitoring spirit you want to monitor. No, you can do what you want to, but when there's a will, there's a way.
It's not
I leave it at that.
Just find a way.
Because
that is all that
we also did not mention societal pressure, but we will not stop if we do not. But I need to go to this
another story.
I need to go to this conversation because I am what? I'm a prophet.
Is it you?
I have foretold this story. It's me. I'm the prophet.
Are you the one that said?
The prophet.
Are you so Tolu? Is it prophet or prophet?
I said I'm a prophet. Whatever you hear is what you heard.
Because I need to know this.
Whatever you hear
that was the prophet.
So
didn't you call it? Somebody called it.
I'm the one who called it.
You called it.
Let me own it.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, own it.
Rubbish. Let me focus. Our next conversation is around a project that is obviously near and dear to this administration's heart, and they're so passionate about it. And that's the National It's Lolo to cause me, Lori. It's Lolo that's causing this. And she's eyeing me out. Please, camera. She's eyeing me out of the corner of her eye, and she's making me feel uncomfortable in my seat.
If this is what they do, we need to sue them for...
Please, hold on. Emotional turmoil.
No, and that is because we predicted it.
Let me finish so they know what we're talking about. It's the national anthem. So now, the federal government of Nigeria, through the National Orientation Agency, I said it, has announced plans to conduct a nationwide contest for the production of a new national anthem. This initiative was revealed during a presentation in Abuja and aims to create a more inclusive and inspiring anthem for the country. At the same time, the National Orientation Agency has released a standardized version of the reintroduced national anthem and will launch a contest for its melody. So there are a few changes to the national, to the anthem that has been reintroduced, and it has something to do. It has something to do with country and something. So this is the approved lyrics of the new national anthem. So tribes and tongues is now plural, and then Nigerians all are proud to serve, not and proud to serve. So they had to, NOA had to release that, so I don't know. What correction is it here? Because before it was though tribe and tongue. So now it's tribes and tongues. And then it was Nigerians all and proud to serve. It's are proud to serve. So when you stand up and you're singing the song, know what you're singing. But guys, they're doing a competition. Is that not what I said?
That we said on this table.
Is that not what I said on this table? I've been saying it for a week and a half now.
We need to now begin to some of our ideas, we need to pass it through the Copyright Commission.
I'm telling you, it's like people are they're
listening to us. Can you please cut an excerpt of our show and say, as suggested by the ladies of...
Because and truly, you know, we asked whether this agency was alive and kicking.
All of a sudden, it's showing that...
And all of a sudden...
I'll continue to shout, because it is too much of a pivotal agency in the context of where Nigeria is
at the moment.
To not be seen, to not be heard, to not be felt.
You know, I'm just gobsmacked because I'm asking myself, why are we like this? They can swear for us. Are we, listen,
we are
what's the
always,
problem?
No, Tolu said
we start something and then, you know, Tolu says so. And then,
well, we will take a decision here, we'll take a decision here that is supposed to go this way, then we will now go back this way to go here to get to here.
What did you just say?
I'm just, it will make you shame, don't catch you. Why
Honestly,
are we like
because
toddlers? We don't
didn't
know what
think,
we're doing.
why did we not think
This process?
So let's see what the NOA says. So they said they will call for entries for the production of an authentic Nigerian melody, taking into consideration the indigenous instrumentation
Ashake?
of the
Are you not the one that called Ashake?
Of the Nigerian people. Then effective dates for entries and the procedure will be announced through NOA channels in the coming week. And then the new national anthem is expected to align with the country's ideology and also has received much commendation from well-meaning Nigerians. So that's what the NOA is saying. So they want to, so it's not that we're changing the anthem. We want to give it a different bed, a different sound bed, a different a melody. Because the one that's using now is not working.
So which artist, if we had to come up with 10 artists off the top of our heads?
Techno. Techno is a fantastic producer. No. Kiss Daniel. What do you mean? Showa. That's your national anthem to Showa. We people not be Showa.
Shoni Capital for business. Showa.
Nigeria, we have this Showa.
So, we mentioned Fowls. You mentioned
No Bad
always called for Ashake.
Mr. No Bad Songs.
They plenty.
I said 10. They plenty.
Okay.
10.
Okay. Fowls.
Yeah.
Kiss Daniel. Techno.
Yeah.
Who else?
Ashake.
Ashake is not a producer.
It's not a producer.
We were looking for producers.
ID Kabasa. But there's so many newer producers
John Jazzy. You'll just be hearing that. It's John Jazzy again. John Baba J. It's like a national anthem.
But we need an anthem to unite us, and it has to be
they can
street.
actually ask Zazu to produce a melody.
We see him now.
The streets go like him.
Zazu, we hail. Zazu. You people don't know.
Listen, no, I'm serious. If we are going to...
But they said it must like contain the indigenous
But this is where I
instrumentation
think
of
we're going to
Nigeria.
run into an issue. We have a lot of different indigenous instruments across the country.
And we can, all of it cannot fit.
So I hope that the procedures and whatever they're going to announce will take... No, they can't. Because they get a cacophony of noise.
Because if it doesn't represent these people, they'll say this.
So it's a very delicate thing.
Yes.
You know the Igbo, that Ngongo, that the Hausa, that Vuvuzela kind of... The Yorubas have different kinds of drums. Igbo have different kinds of drums. Hijab people have different kinds... Oh, my God.
So I also want to see what the process for decision on this is going to be. Is it going to be squarely up to the NOA? Is it going to be a national competition where people get to vote? Are people going to be judging?
I would love to be in the panel and be in Abuja for this awesome job.
What will you be doing on the panel there?
No, we'll be scrutinizing the melody.
Okay. But seriously, let me get a Kiss Daniel and a Techno on this thing. Even though apparently they're fighting, but you guys can produce separately.
No, they'll be all right.
They're some of the two best consistent producers we have.
All right.
Songs.
On this note, this is where...
Please don't draw the curtains.
Zazu, we hail. No, give me the anthem. Zazu, we hail.
But what is Zazu, we hail? What is that, Tolu?
You said I should give you instrumentation.
Oh, so Zazu, is that the song?
Are you not the one that whispered here? You said it quite softly, like you were actually thinking about it. That the streets, imagine if you get
straight.
Let
small doctor and Zazu jump on
it. Hey,
how would that work? Can we quickly see the anthem again? Can we please see the anthem one more time? Nigeria, we hail this. Zazu.
Our own dear motherland, Showa.
Hey, the tribes and tongues may differ. It's on Jazzy again.
In brotherhood, it's at Bugawa. You guys do not kill me. This is where we say goodbye on today's episode of Jasiri. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Join us tomorrow for another exciting episode. Until then, Shoni Capital for business.
Hey.